I'm somebody who has pretty bad self-talk. Like, I have an inner critic that constantly is yelling in my head all the time. And the reason I bring this point up is because my friend and I yesterday were talking about power dynamics. We were talking about what it's like to have people respect you versus not respecting you. And for 18 years of my life, people did not respect me at all. I could not make eye contact with people. I constantly stuttered at every sentence I said. And it wasn't fun. It was not a fun experience. Like, I saw the worst of human nature. And I make this video kind of to piggyback on the video I made yesterday, but I'm sick and tired of everyone pretending that power dynamics don't exist, because they still do, and my friend is proof of that. Like my friend, we're gonna call him Meal. He still is living a life that is very similar to what I went through in high school. Like, there are still times where people feel entitled to make fun of him and constantly call him out and like just crap on him whenever they can. And I realized all these years later, as I reconnected with some high school people and just other like individuals from my life, that the way they talk to me now is not the way they would talk to me 10 years ago, because I have more muscle, I am more sure of myself, I sound more confident now, I can maintain deep eye contact. And I'm on the receiving end of the benefits. Like, I am somebody now, I can walk into most rooms and I can benefit from talking to somebody. It doesn't matter who you are. I can strike a conversation with you and we can talk and I can get to know something. But, being in the opposite side for so long now, it's made me forget that a lot of people are on the other end of things where they don't have the power, they don't have the respect, there's a lot of self-doubt, there's a lot of self-criticism, and people notice it and people will talk badly to them, right? And the reason I still feel this, I can relate to this honestly, is because even every time I make a video on Instagram, not on YouTube but on Instagram specifically, I am always worried about what other people will say. Like, although I have changed physically and externally, this voice is still the same 18-year-old voice in high school that constantly felt like he was getting the worst out of everyone. So every time I make a video on Instagram, I constantly worry about if it's gonna get negative feedback. Or not even worry, there's like a narrative there that's like, what if I get negative feedback? What if somebody says something bad? And it's so interesting, guys. Every time I've clicked on the video, like, there'll be times for hours in a day I will ignore my notifications, but then I'll click on it and they actually end up being really positive comments. Like, I don't think I've gotten honestly one bad comment. And even when I have, like, it doesn't matter. Like, I literally don't care, bro. Like, the actual comment itself is like way better than the actual one that goes on here. And it's made me realize that there's two elements when it comes to power dynamics. There's the internal world and there's the external world. The external world is how people actually treat you. Like, do people respond to you? Do people take you seriously? Do people actually reciprocate you when your presence is in the room? And then there's the internal one where you are evaluating yourself in relation to the world. And obviously my friend who I mentioned earlier is suffering from the external side point, but I'm suffering from the internal one. Like, even though externally you wouldn't think I have any of this dialogue, I really do. Like, there are times where I really doubt myself significantly, especially when I'm making videos. And the reason why I say power dynamics are important to understand is because for all my people who have been through it, high school does not end after high school. If you are still living the same life, you can still live the same life in the workplace. You can still live the same life even in your own home. Like, if you don't have that respect, believe me when I say this, people who are well into their 50s and beyond can still be bullies. We know this as a fact. It's much more so in the workplace. Yes, people are gonna be way more like passive with it, but it doesn't change the fact that power dynamics are real. If people perceive you as lesser, then they're gonna feel entitled to treat you like dog shit. I'm sorry for my cursing, but it's the truth, right? And it just goes to say that power dynamics matter. Power dynamics are real and they do exist. And I am saying this with somebody who now has the privilege of having power dynamics work for me, that they do exist. And we actually do society, we actually do ourselves a massive disservice and a massive injustice when we pretend they don't exist. Because every single relationship you'll ever have in life, there is a social contract behind it, like an unspoken social contract, and it depends on power. Like, if you are their equal, it's accepted, it's expected to be reciprocal, right? But if you are deemed superior or better than, people are going to pander to you. People are gonna people please you. People are gonna try to cater to you to win you over. And like, I've had this before. Like, I've had friends visit me from DC come to my local neighborhood, and they've seen how many people I know, and they want in on that. And this is not because I think I'm hot shit, I'm not, but it's because of the fact that people literally like, oh wow, he's actually well respected here, and people like him. Like I want a piece of that. And of course, if you were in their position too, you would want that too. I mean, who wouldn't, right? But we have to be honest about that, right? We have to be honest that that desire does exist just as much as when we see somebody who we don't like or we think is lesser than, we also have this bias to treat them negatively. And I think society's unwillingness to be honest about this has caused so much harm, right? Because even when I was a teenager in high school, I could never speak. When I had no power, I couldn't speak about this, right? Because nobody would believe me. Nobody would care because it doesn't matter to them, right? And I think this really can exacerbate a type of cruelty that we face in our society. Um, like power dynamics are real, they matter, they have existed, they are existing, and they will continue to exist, right? And I want to end this video with one last story from another person in college where I literally saw in real time how power dynamics influence his behavior. Like him and I were equals, so he treated me like an equitable partner. There was a roommate he had who he didn't treat with respect, and that roommate, I would literally see in the third person that he treated that roommate terribly. And I should have honestly done something about it back then, but I was too afraid and I didn't want to relinquish my own social status at the time to help out, but he really treated that roommate like garbage. And then there would be two other people from our pre-professional frat who he treated like goddesses, right? Like he literally would go out of their way to make sure they got the Uber. He would go out their way to pander to them. And that was such a perfect representation that there is a hierarchy and everybody is capable of following that hierarchy when the right environment calls for the right action, right? And I think I'm just tired of it, bro. I'm tired of pretending that power dynamics don't exist. I'm tired of pretending that we should not talk about it just to maintain this sort of comfort that doesn't even exist. Like people's lives do get destroyed by this. People's lives do get deeply affected by preconceived notions of power that influence how other people show up. And the sooner we can be honest about that, I think the sooner we can commit to real change that actually matters. So if you enjoyed this video, thank you so much. Don't like, don't comment, don't subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one.